Hi guys, this is the VVac channel, and today I'd like to take some time to review my Bugatti Veyron EB 16.4 Grandsport Vitesse, which you probably saw in the unboxing video. If you haven't watched the unboxing, go ahead and check it out. The company that made this car is Rastar, and as you know, Rastar caused a huge revolution with the Mulsanne, showing collectible quality at smart price. And yes, the Mulsanne was an absolutely big hit. Well, at least it was here in Korea. And it looks like Rastar made a new model, successor to the Mulsanne. And like the Mulsanne is one of the very high-end cars in this world. It is the Bugatti Veyron. Actually, there are a lot of Bugatti Veyron models already. You can get a Super Sport, Grand Sport, normal, Blue Sun Air, lots and lots of Bugatti Veyrons. But yes, the Grandsport Vitesse Rastar has it made exclusive, and yes, and the price was really cheap compared to the other Bugatti Veyrons, because let's face it, you don't have a lot of brand selection for this one. It's either Autoart, MR, Mini Champ, stuff like that. And you know that those cars are well over $250, but this one just cost me $50, and we'll see if the quality really matches up. Or even more important, is Rastar keeping up its good quality, or was that just for its first model? And we're about to figure that out, so let's go ahead and get started in the car. When I first saw it, I thought it was a completely beautiful car, and don't get me wrong, I still think that way, but still, we have to criticize the details of this one and see if it's like the Mulsanne, showing collectible quality at a good price. So let's get started in the front. The front looks overall pretty good, although not good as the Autoart version. It looks fairly nice, and it has a really beautiful paint job in my opinion. Pearl white with icy blue. It's really beautiful. So let's get started with the grills. I'd like to take time to the grills. As you know, Mulsanne had all open chrome grills, but for some reason this one has all closed ones. And here, and I'm going to show you when I get to the side and the back, but all of the grills in this car is actually blocked, which is a bit depressing. Look at that. It's blocked grills, making it look cheap, which is quite disappointing because the Mulsanne had all open. The Bugatti logo is not made in plate like the Mulsanne. The Mulsanne have both plate logo, but unfortunately this one seems like a sticker. And although, to be honest, it'll be a bit weird to have a plate logo in the Bugatti Veyron, so I think it doesn't really matter, but still, it was quite disappointing, the quality of the grills and the logo. The chrome around the grills are made okay. They're fine. But they look a bit flashy, and it definitely looks cheaper than the Autoart Veyrons. I think Autoart worked out much more better. Next is the headlights details. I think the headlight is alright. If you take a look like that, I think it looks alright. I mean, they tried to hide the pegs down here, and all the patterns and the light bulbs are created very nice, and I think the headlights are made very well, even better than the Mulsanne perhaps. You can open the trunk to see the inside, and to be honest, when it goes up and when it sticks up, it's a bit wobbly for some reason. The Mulsanne was very stable, and the Mulsanne had a little button on the underneath that could open it up, but unfortunately the Bugatti doesn't have that, and it doesn't have the opening tool that the Mulsanne had, which is a bit disappointing. If you take a closer look at the trunk, to be honest, it was a bit disappointing to me. The trunk space is a bit small, which is kind of obvious because if you had a Bugatti Vitesse, you're not going to be using it to haul your groceries, but it's made in plastic, and I think it looks kind of cheap. Yes, it looks very cheap in my opinion, for some reason. It looks very cheap. which is a bit disappointing because the Mulsanne's finishing was absolutely beautiful, but the Veyron doesn't seem to be as good. So that's the front, and let's take the car to the side. The front was overall okay, but it wasn't as satisfying as the Mulsanne owing to its poor grills and the trunk interior. Let's take the car to the side, and I'd like to say that this car is really beautiful. I absolutely love the looks. Along with that white and the blue, I think it's gorgeous, this car. And I really love it. I don't regret it, but what's wrong with this? Sometimes the you can see that, especially in opening parts, the blue and the white, the paint finishing is not that great. What I mean is sometimes there's smudges of blue on the white or stuff like that, which just proves the paint finishing is not that great. We're not really sure what the Mulsanne would have been like since it's only black, but the two-tone paint job seemed to have limited quality on the finishings. Like the Mulsanne, the Bugatti Veyron has a very poor side mirror detail. It only looks like a 124 scale, it doesn't look like a 118 scale. And it was like that on the Mulsanne, and the Bugatti seems to be no better. Which also accounts for the rims. As you know, probably the biggest minus on the Mulsanne was the rims, and it doesn't seem to have improved, since I know for a fact that the Bugatti Veyron shares a lot of parts with the radio control version, and it's not that good. As you can see, it's very bad detailed. But the Bugatti disc brakes back there is okay detailed. You can see Bugatti right there. Overall, but the rims were pretty disappointing. And I said that the side grills are also blocked, like this one, where you can't really see, but that one, or even one down there, it's all blocked. I mean, you don't really see it that much, so it hardly matters, but I think they should have done a better job on the front. You can tell the quality is not the best also by the gas refill thingy. If we take a look, you can see it's not exactly into the hole. It's not that great, the finishing, which is a bit disappointing. I mean, it is okay, it uses a separate part from its body, but I think the finishing was a bit limited in this car. You can open the doors to see the interior, and above all, I think the interior was very satisfying. Well, in the colors at least, I think it goes along excellent with the white and blue paint job. But if you take a look at the inside, I think it is a bit limited also. Especially in the middle. If you take a look right there, it seems to be very poorly detailed. You can only see the circles, which was a bit disappointing since the Mulsanne had all the dials and all of that. But the Bugatti doesn't have that, which is a bit disappointing. And the gear tracks, they're not as accurate as the Mulsanne, which is a bit disappointing also. The color choice was very nice, but I think the interior overall was much more worse than the Mulsanne. The Mulsanne had excellent interior, and also, you might not see it, but the Mulsanne had carpet, but this one doesn't, which is also very disappointing. I thought this car would have carpet, but unfortunately it doesn't. What surprised me, it would have been really nice if this car had carpet like the Autoart version, but unfortunately it does not seem to have it. So that's the side, but still, don't get me wrong, it seems extremely beautiful. It is a very beautiful car indeed, only just limited in some places. I wish they have just done a little bit better job. Let's take the car to the back. The back was a huge disappointment to me because, for one thing, unlike the Autoart version, this one comes up so you can see into the engine, but it doesn't open in here, which means the only functions of this car is opening hood and doors, which is a bit disappointing, since you can't really feel that 8.3 liter quad turbocharged engine used in the Bugatti Veyron. It looks something like this, the engine. You can't really open it, but you can still see it. And it's okay, it's not that bad, but I wish they had an opening because that would have, totally changed it. changed my view on the back. And unlike the Autoart Automated Champs version, the rear spoiler doesn't come up. Maybe I would have thought better if the spoilers came up, but they don't even seem to have that function in this car. And also, if you take a look right there, the Bugatti logo and the lights right here are just painted on, which is also very disappointing in my opinion. I think they could have just done a little bit better job on these. And the rear lamps are okay made. But like I said, the grills are all blocked, and there's no exception for the back ones too. It's blocked. And the mufflers look kind of cheap in this flashy chrome. It's like the Maisto chrome, so it can scratch off very easily. So you need to be careful. And overall, the back was probably the most disappointing part of this car for me. Take the car to the bottom. There's no special thing. It's just black, and it says Rastar. This is the Bugatti down here. Nothing special about the bottom. Overall, I think this was a very okay diecast car to have, but I think the quality is a bit worse than the Mulsanne, and I definitely wish Rastar would either keep it this way or improve, because if the quality goes down more than this one, there really seems no reason to be having this one instead of Maisto, since it's much more cheaper. But still, I think it's a beautiful car. And in case you're wondering about the paint job, there's the white and blue like this one, or there's orange and black. The orange bottom with black on there, and the world record paint job. But in my opinion, I think the white is the most beautiful. Well, above all, I wouldn't give it as high ratings as the Mulsanne, but I still think it would be a great opportunity for people like me who always wanted a Bugatti Veyron but couldn't have one because of the price. Yes, for the price, I think this one's okay, and for Bugatti lovers who couldn't get it, I think this might be a great chance for you. And actually, that's it. There's no good or bad things about this one. So that was it. My Rastar Bugatti 16.4 Grandsport Vitesse review. And I have more cars to upload, so I'll be doing them in a couple of weeks, so be sure to check those out. And yes, that was the second Rastar car, and I hope you enjoyed it. So bye.